we have Derrius Quarles, who is speaking about his book named $1,000,000 Scholar. He's been seen on shows like CNN, BET, CBS, and NBC. Can we please welcome Derrius Quarles?
We don't do that at TED, but that's good. No. Thank you. Today I'm going to be speaking about awakening imagination, what that means to me. I was born on the south side of Chicago during the 1990s. I first lived in what were known as the Robert Taylor Project homes. These project homes from the 1970s to the 1990s were known as an epicenter of drugs, gang activity, and violence. Trash littered the hallways, drug addicts lined the streets, drug dealers lined the streets, and those blue flashing lights at the top of the cop car served as a constant reminder for where you were. I show these photos to you not for dramatic effect, but to show you the faces of the Robert Taylor residents. Because it is the face of the little boy who is asking why he has to live this way. It is the face of the mother who can feed all of her children as long as she forgoes a meal every day. It is those faces that tell the story of the Robert Taylor Projects the best. I often ponder what my own life would be like if this one molecule did not exist. Now, I'm a biology major at Morehouse College, so I know a little bit about the technical, details of this molecule, but simply put, this is crack cocaine. The same molecule that my father sold in the Robert Taylor Projects in order to make enough money to feed and clothe his children. This is the same molecule that ended his life in 1994 when he was fighting. He was stabbed in the femoral artery and bled out before doctors could intervene, dead on arrival. This is also the same molecule that my mother became addicted to slowly after my father's death in 1994. And this is the same molecule that eventually led to me being taken away from my mother in 1995 after the state of Illinois charged her with neglect. So, this one molecule, I often ponder what my life would be like. Who would I be if this molecule did not exist? I was angry. I was angry at the world because I had been in the foster care system for 14 years of my life. And I had so many diverse memories of this foster care system. I remember one time in 7th grade, I had brought home a straight A report card at the end of the 7th grade year. And I was excited. I was really excited because I had a straight A report card and it was officially summer so I could play every day. And my foster mom at the time, I came in, she asked for a report card and I handed it to her with so much pride. I said, this is my report card. And she looked at it and she looked at the other report cards that were there. And she looked at me and said, you think you're better than somebody? You ain't gonna be shit. And I was crushed. Here I was, a 13-year-old boy with dreams of being an astronaut and flying into space. A 13-year-old boy with dreams of being a physician and healing people one day. A 13-year-old boy with dreams of literally changing the world. And all of those dreams were being choked. All of those dreams were turning purple and blue. All of those dreams had just been asphyxiated with those simple words. I spent many of my years in the foster care system absorbing these blows of people trying to tell me what I could not be, what I could not do. And it showed when I entered high school. I went from a straight A student in 7th grade to a 2.5 grade point average at the end of my freshman year. And I had just been arrested for stealing from one of the local stores Stealing had become my entrepreneurial way. It was the way I made my money. I figured I could make 100% of the profit if I stole a lot of candy, went to school, and sold it. So you can see that I embraced capitalism at a very early age. But that all changed. That all changed when I met a little biology teacher named Miss Nataki. She was much smaller than me, and she was from India. That all changed when she invited me to take her accelerated honors environmental science course over the summer. Now, at first when I heard about this course, I was very skeptical, because I was thinking to myself, you want me to take a summer course for a class I didn't fail? I was very skeptical about this summer school course. So I didn't show up for the first day of class. And on the second day of class, I showed up 20 minutes late. Ms. Nataki ignored it. She ignored it like I wasn't there, but at least I thought she ignored it. But about 5 minutes later, she discreetly told me to step outside. June 6, 2006. She took me outside, she paused and she stared at me for a few minutes. And she then told me, you have so much potential, yet you choose to waste it. And I did not realize it then, but now I do. What that statement was the antithesis of that same statement I had heard about 3 years earlier, which was, you ain't gonna be shit. That statement was the antithesis of that. Instead of choking and asphyxiating my dreams, Miss Nataki dared me to dream bigger. She dared me to dream better. She dared me to dream bolder. And to this day, my favorite movie is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I love this movie, and it's a specific scene in this movie that is my favorite scene, and it has transformed my life. And I first saw this movie when I was 13 years old, a teenager, crazy teenager. And there's this scene where Willy Wonka is about to take Charlie and the rest of the golden ticket winners into the chocolate room. And there's this chocolate river flowing in there. There's this forest made out of confections and candy. And before he takes them in, he wants to sing them a song. Now, I wanted to play the clip for you all, but due to copyright issues, you're going to have to bear with me. And I'm actually going to vocalize this song to you all right now, because I love it that much. I want you to hear this, and I hope this isn't a copyright issue. Willy Wonka tells Charlie and all the golden ticket winners to hold your breath, make a wish, count to 3. Then he sings, come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. Right? I love that song. It's beautiful. And then he goes on to sing, I'm not done. He goes on to sing, if you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. And I love this song. And I didn't realize it then, but I was like a brown Charlie. Like that was, that's what I thought about that movie. And I was like, I want to be Charlie so bad. But I was Charlie, a brown Charlie. And Miss Nataki turned out to be my Willy Wonka. She was that person who charged me to dream again. She was that person who charged me to focus on not everything everybody told me I could not be, but to focus on all the potential that I had to be all those things I thought I could be. And my life was forever changed. I went back to being a straight A student again. I got involved in my community. I got involved in athletics again. I became a swimmer, a football player, a basketball player again. After all these times where people were telling me I could not be those things, I got involved in science. And last but not least, this became my goal. $1 million in scholarships. Now, I I knew this was much more than I would need to fund my college education. College is not that expensive yet. And I set the bar so high for a reason. I set $1 million in scholarships to be my goal, even though I knew I only needed about $160,000. I set the bar high enough so I knew I would have to stretch myself very far if I was going to reach that bar. And by the end of my high school career, not only had I reached that bar of $1 million in scholarships, I had reached over $1.1 million in scholarships. And it was imagination that allowed me to set that goal. It was imagination that allowed me to reach and go beyond this goal. And my imagination has not stopped. It's still going to this day. And what my imagination allows me to see today, it allows me to envision a day when no student will be denied access to a college education simply because they cannot pay for it. A day when no student will say no to a college degree simply because they are not in the economic position to afford it. And the way that I'm going about personally to see this goal brought to fruition, to see this dream become a reality, is through a venture that I started in 2010 called $1,000,000 Scholar. And the goal of $1,000,000 Scholar is to help students across the world achieve their dream of college by giving them the resources and the information needed to find, apply, and win scholarships. So this is what imagination did for Charlie. This is what imagination has done for me. And this is what I believe imagination can do for all of us. And I know there are those skeptics out there. There will always be those skeptics who ask the question, imagination isn't real. How can it help me? And my response to those skeptics is this. Imagination becomes real. It becomes real because imagination is that thing that allows you to synthesize your vision. Your vision is what guides your actions. And your actions are those small ingredients that come together to form a recipe that can change your life and the world around you. So my message to the youth of the world is this. There will be many people you will come across that will make it their business to tell you what is impossible. Make it your business to turn the impossible into the is possible. And I'm going to leave with a poem. More so spoken word, actually. In my past life, I was a spoken word artist. So I'm going to leave you all with this. And it's entitled, A Call to Action. Why am I here? I am here because I am chose. No doubt in my mind that I am the rose that grew from concrete. Gunshot sounds for the Chicago projects. Concrete grounds for the homeless reject. Ejected from a few foster homes. Elected by some to be nothing more in life. There were those who thought I would study the cells of prison rather than the cells under a microscope. I wish I had a global microscope. If so, I would scope in on the people that are shocked that I am standing in front of you speaking. They will be the people in the petri dish asking, how is he here? And I will respond, I am here because I am chosen, woven from the cloth of my ancestors, who would pick the cotton and send it to the cotton gin, and the cotton gin spin, and the cotton gin spin, and the cotton gin spin to deceive the cotton that made the cloth of injustice. The often forgotten slaves that would not take the name given to them. So they would hang them by the wrist, and with the whip they whip, 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 until the whip slit and split the skin of my great-great-grandmother. These thoughts may seem dismal, but upon further analysis they are great because she sacrificed her blood and sweat and tears and flesh and mind and time to allow me to be the chosen one under this sun, delivering this TED Talk to you. Son of a drug dealer, son of a drug user, but I am still here chosen to be the one that helps to extinguish the various issues within the various microcosms of the globe, chosen to be among those that help to relinquish the chains of inequalities, inequities, and disproportionalities. Why are you here? You are here because you are chosen. Somebody or something brought you to this moment to experience this message spoken. So in some small way, shape, or form, the responsibility lies with you now. Will you accept reality sitting down, or will you stand up and paint a new background on this canvas called the world? Will you say that change is impossible, or will you make the impossible the is possible? Will you allow the inner Charlie to show, or will you remain in the reality that keeps telling you no? Well, no matter what you decide to do, simply remember that we heard this message intentionally, and the future success of our youth will depend upon us acting deliberately. Remember that we all have the power within our minds to shape a better world for all mankind. Thank you.